Hey guys, welcome back to 6th Street Gaming. We're actually doing this commentary in post, so I'm just going to be kind of talking over everything. And I tried on these and had a hard time with some of them, so I decided to do that I decided to do that off camera and talk about it in post, so you didn't have to hear me screaming cuss words at a kid's game. This game is a lot harder than I expected. You know, it actually requires a lot of dexterity, and one of the problems that I'm seeing is one that I encountered that's similar to Spyro. The Spyro Remaster, the only critique I would really give it is that the controls can get a little mushy sometimes. They aren't very precise, which I get, that's how the original game felt, but we can do better now, so I would have liked us to do better, but we didn't, so I mean, there's that. So yeah, and I'm trying to find the block that I missed here, because I thought I remembered that, you know, being a life before, and I just can't find this stupid exclamation point box. The bats are a very interesting hazard, because if you look, there are several tells. You know, when the bat flaps like that, that means that there's a column of bats coming. See? And yeah, I took a bit of damage there. I don't know why I was so worried about getting that one Wumpa fruit, because honestly I didn't need it. It's only one. But yeah, I think that it's a very interesting hazard, because it has a tell, and it's actually easy to predict if you know what you're doing. I really should have gone back for that life, but honestly I was frustrated at this point, so I just wanted to get this level over with. And thankfully I did. I'm actually on a separate island from this now. But yeah, I think I'm going to be doing the rest of at least Crash Bandicoot 1 mostly in post commentary like this. So this will be the first major LP that, well, this is the first LP to majorly feature post commentary, which will be an interesting little experiment. This has interesting timing, and you'll see in a later level where the timing gets even more precise, where the platform's only out for maybe a second and you gotta hit it right there, because it's insane. So there is another exclamation point box, and I actually got it this time instead of falling on the fire. Oh, well, there you go. Oh wait, no, I'm going back, I guess. Then I decided, nope, too hard. Come on now. There it is. And up, and over, and onto the rotating platform. And up, wait for the next one, obviously. But yeah, it's interesting strategically having to figure this out, because this one you can't jump too fast, because if you jump too fast the next platform isn't going to be there. So this is what that exclamation point box gave me. It's some Wumpa fruit and I think 2 lives maybe. No, it's one of the Enviro coins. I've still never actually unlocked one of those, which is annoying, but hey. Oh, don't you love that? I learned my lesson. Hit it. There we go. Alrighty. See, and this is one of the really rough bits because the timing has to be perfect. This one is a tad easier. Though you saw that I almost got pushed off on that one. This game uses depth of field in a very, yeah, depth of field in an interesting way. You know, it's a 3D level, but, you know, I don't know what it is, but I have trouble with depth perception on it, you know? I have trouble gauging distance into the world. If it's a regular platforming level like this, then I'm usually alright. You know, and then there's just misjudging platforms and stuff like I just did. But there's a couple levels later where they're moving in and out from the camera in this perspective, which can make it hard to gauge the distances and all that. So you'll see me kind of walking carefully and, you know, figuring this out. Let's give this bonus an attempt, yeah? Right, boing. And we're not doing that anymore. Those bridges are an interesting platform. I'm surprised that they never came back. Now this is the most annoying thing. If you spin that when his back is turned, it'll spin you around and have you walk in the other way. I finally figured out that's what it was doing. Because, dude, it was annoying me to no end because I would just die. See, just like that. You're just done. See, then I figured out, let's not engage and just wait for him to jump to us and then kill him. Nice and easy. Until you miss the jump, right? But the end of the level is right there. So this level takes, you know, a minute and a half to get through if you know what you're doing. And you hit everything just right. I mean, that's one way to get rid of it. Or you could just fall off again. Whoop, whoop, almost. And off he goes. And kill him. And don't worry about the exclamation point box, because I can't reach it now. 17 of 82. I think I can actually get an achievement for this one. Ready? Yep, the box that broke the crash is back. Oh, he dead now. No, he's not. 65 boxes. Most of them are in the Embryo thing, I guess. Or Brio? Embryo or Embryo? I forget. I think it's B-I-R-O. Which I pronounce Biro because it seems to be correct. Now, this tomb one is interesting. I actually did this without too much trouble, if I remember correctly. but this is kind of what I'm talking about, where they start to mess with the depth of field. Well, not depth of field. They start to mess with depth perception, I guess. These jumps are actually very difficult for me. So the trick is to watch his shadow. If you watch his shadow, you'll kind of see where you can approximate where he's going to land. And having the bats come through these tunnels like this is pretty crazy. Sorry, it's late, guys. Oh, it's a spider. I killed it, though. I'm not afraid of no eight-legged freak. And then this is where they start putting in the floating platforms, and then they change your perspective entirely in one of them, where instead of going sideways, you're going towards the camera. And it really screwed me up for a second. I'm like, where am I supposed to go? I think the cobra's funny. I don't think I ever died to one, so I don't know what the animation looks like. But I kind of wish I did. Have I died yet on this level? I don't think so. I know I die at least 2 times on this, but I'm doing pretty good so far. Yeah, I was gauging the distance to like, okay, how do I do this? I'm almost to another life, yay! 2 fruit away. I'm like, okay, so they changed the way that this works, so I have to jump like there, basically. And I'm like, oh, I gotta get the Wumpa fruit because I'm nearly there. Thank you for the life. That is awesome. So, Crash Bandicoot has been kind of a part of my life for almost as long as I can remember. I remember playing Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back, which is the one we haven't played yet, and Warped at my kids' church program when I was a kid. Because my life has always been going to church. So I play Crash Bandicoot 2, and me and my brother, one of my friends, would be taking turns, basically switching on death, you know, and we'd play through the game. And they also had an arcade machine with Captain America and the Avengers, the side-scrolling beat-em-up game, which was a lot of fun. Because then at the end you fight Red Skull, but then he turns into Mecha Red Skull, and it's like, this is crazy. Does this actually happen in comic books? And it's like, yeah, probably happens in comic books. Yeah, I know I get squished here in a second. Oh, the bats first, then the squishing. Just Wumpa this time. But I play that, I play, I think the original SSX, or maybe it was 1080 snowboarding or whatever, which was SSX before it was SSX. I played that. What else did they have? They had all kinds of fun stuff. Oh, they had an N64, so we would play Star Wars Pod Racer all the time because that game is awesome. Not so much the PS2 sequel. That game is not as good. Star Wars Racer Revenge or whatever it's called. That is not as good. Just the controls are not very good. Even when the controls in the first one aren't incredible, but you know, at least the choruses were interesting, and you know, you got the idea that wow, pod racing is super dangerous. See, now I was getting a little aggravated because I keep not making it. And you might say, well, you're doing post commentary. Why would you have all this? Maybe to pad out time. Or maybe it's because I wanted to talk over it and just kind of gab. Because I like the sound of my own voice. Why do you think I have a YouTube channel? No, I actually don't really like my voice, but nobody likes their voiceover for it. It makes it so that I don't watch through most of my content. Like, I watch through it to check that it's right, to check that certain things I wanted to edit out or edit it out. But beyond that, I don't watch. Yeah, there's the squishy. Like, I've tried to watch one of my LPs. I'm like, oh god, I hate my voice. Why am... Oh man. You know? Split second there. Playing with fire, literally. What do bandicoots eat? Do they eat fruit? I don't think they would eat fruit. I'm thinking that they're probably carnivores, but their diet mainly consists of insects. If I were to guess. Mostly because they're a rodent. And a mid-sized rodent. So that means... waiting for the bats, and now... Bandicoot Warp. You know, how ancient temples always have those little warp pads? Hooray! I missed 16 boxes. The Road to Nowhere. This one's interesting. I'm actually currently stuck on a similar level to this one, but not this one. See, you're on a rope bridge. See that red plank in front of us? It falls out. The regular colored ones are regular colored. And look, I found an exploit. This is after a lot of trial and error on this. So I did a lot of cutting to allow for because I just died like 7 times on that part before I even discovered it, and I die a lot trying to get back on. But yeah, you can just run down the side and it makes the level way easier. Yep, until you do that, right? Then my tennis goes... So, news on CTR, I've seen the cart customization, and I'm so happy it's just like stickers and crap. That is awesome. Because that means that playing online, it's not going to change anything gameplay-wise. It's just cosmetic, so if it's microtransactions, it doesn't matter, and you don't have to do it. Because that's one of the things that I'm really worried about with oh, modern reboot of this. It's like, oh, and we're going to add microtransactions, like, you know, Battlefront 2, for example. One of my favoriteest games, definitely my favorite first-person shooter ever. And they're just like, no, we're going to add this feminist storyline because we have to, because it's new Star Wars. And then we're also going to add all of these garbage microtransactions. Those broken ones, they'll just fall out completely if you touch them, like that. Then the blue ones are slippery, like those moss-covered ledges at the beginning of the game. They work almost exactly the same, because you can see they're slightly angled as well. Hooray! I'm like, okay, think about it. Oh, no. Okay, contemplate. And so basically when you're doing that jump, you don't want to flip, because that will throw you off in some specific scenarios. But one of the cool things they're adding in the remaster is being able to play as nitrous oxide, because that was something that should always have been there, but I think they couldn't figure out the mechanics of it, or didn't have time, or something like that. I'd really love to kind of hear the development story behind that game, because I love that game so much. I would love to hear about it. So now I'm thinking, do I go through the bonus, or do I continue? I have 0 lives. I really kind of need the lives, so I ended up doing it anyway. Okay. The trick to that is make sure that you jump when it hits. When it hits the metal, when you hear that clank, 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 hit when you jump when you hear the clank, and you'll never get hit by it. It's nice that they always put 2 lives at the end, like that. That's very helpful. But that was an interesting little bonus, right? They're like, okay, this is a hard level. Let's give you a pushover, kind of cool mechanic puzzle thing. Yeah, you'll see a lot more of those flipped over turtles in the next level like this. But there, that's done. And I spent like an hour and a half on that level. But you saw it in like 10 minutes. Because that's what it's like with post-commentary. I go, okay, here's the last run, and we just do the last run. Boulder Dash. Boom boom ba doo boop 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 ba doo 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 doo. Hooray for Bandicoot and the Falling Rock. I actually really liked these levels in Crash Bandicoot 2. And the sewer levels were always fun. Look at the scared look on his face. It's like, "Grrr!" the entire time. It's hilarious. Hooray, another life. Alright. Yeah. Come on. I forget. Do I die here? I think I die once on this level. Yep, there's one. He gets squishy. Oh no, he got the squishy. Platforming is fun. But even in the original one, they had a lot of level diversity. You know, they had a lot of different things that you were doing, going through, and this is what really separates the kings from the pretenders in a lot of these sorts of games. Like, for example, I played a game on the PS2 called Tarzan Unleashed. Why? Because I was 15 and my mother bought it for me because it was rated E10 or something, and she's like, oh, he'll like this, and it's fine. But they have 3 different kinds of platforming levels and no real puzzles because it's a tie-in game, which means it was put out quick. And the funny thing is, it wasn't even tying into anything, because I mean, the Tarzan TV show had been on, but the Tarzan TV show had been on for like 3 years. It was almost done, because I think it only ran 3-4 seasons. It wasn't amazing either. But the movie Tarzan, the Disney movie, fantastic. I love it. And it introduced me to Phil Collins, and that's awesome. Because that dude is super talented. I died a couple times on this level. Way more than I thought I did. Oh no. Let's see. Great Disney animated movies. I know the go-to is always Lion King, and I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm not saying that Lion King is bad, but it's not my favorite. You know what I mean? One, because it's not, and none of the original classics are really original stories. You know, The Little Mermaid is an original story. It was written by Hans Christian Andersen. Aladdin is, you know, 1001 Arabian Nights. You know, none of them were original stories, but they, I don't know, it feels much, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of The Lion King. Hey guys, I'm Alex, you know, the guy from the videos. So, I just wanted to thank you for watching the video all the way through. You know, it's a lot of work. I appreciate it. So, you know, thank you for your view, maybe your subscription. So you can subscribe right in the bottom corner there. Then you'll be updated. Make sure to ring that notification bell, because, you know, subscriptions seem to mean nothing on YouTube anymore. But hey, so then over here, you'll see a video that you might like, since you watched this video all the way through. Other than that, have a great day. I hope that you watch more. I'd love to see you again. We do stream, so keep an eye out for that. Announcements will be on the channel, my Twitter, all that stuff. All the information is on the overlay. Other than that, enjoy your stay on 6th Street.